Hi everyone, welcome back into Primetime TV. It's the first show of the year, right champ?
You got that right.
I'm so excited about this show today because we are truly coming from the heart as we always do. But we have some special guests in the show today. One that we brought back by popular demand and a brand new guest. And this is going to be such a complete, how do I want to lay this out? A complete show to answer a lot of questions that many of us have. In fact, this is the very beginning after some of our little sneak peeks last year in 2020 on a new you breakthrough. I know we get tired of hearing about the new you, but this is truly a breakthrough because we've been living in a time where it's been very challenging to all of us. And so many questions that are unanswered, so many questions for ourselves. Where do we go? Do we go from within? What do we do? Do we scream and pull our hair out because we don't know what direction our country's going, where we're going in business, in personal? Hopefully today we'll have a few answers for you as we help you as well as ourselves, crack the code of emotional prison. I want you to think about that just for a brief split second because we don't want to give a whole lot of merit to an emotional prison. I think we've all been there from one time to another. But what if I told you that after this show today, you will have your own escape just by picking up a few little tidbits in our show? We have all professionals trained with the validation behind what we're about to share with you today. So, sit down, get nice and comfortable. We have actually my husband, best friend, and six-time world champion, Dennis Kelly.
Well, hello there. People are going to talk about a good meeting like this.
I know, right?
Yeah, right.
23 years later, 20 years being married, and I'm your host, Barbara Marville Kelly, as well. And who we have in the show today, if you have watched our shows in 2020 and followed our laser beam focus of 2020, then you know that Mary Louise Zeller has become a household name right here on WeBeam TV and Primetime on Facebook. And we hope that you will share this show. It will be recorded. We're live and unrehearsed right now. The only notes I have are just a few notes to introduce my guests. But I also have a special guest today that I know you're also going to enjoy hearing from, and that is PhD Harry Cashette. And I can't wait to introduce him and tell you about many years of experience where he will be able to help lead in guiding all of us in how we can help ourselves and pay it forward and help others in personal and in business, because it all works synergistically together. And if you haven't actually dibble-dabbled at all yet in personal growth and development, now's the time. This last year has brought everyone, well, a lot of people I know, to their knees and going from within. And one person that took her life to going from within ended up on a real good side of life. And we're going to show an inspirational little clip from YouTube on Mary Louise Zeller. And this was a number of years. You get a tissue handy because she is going to share her secrets of success in personal, business, and even still, after all of these years, she's still learning, just like you and me. So we're going to go ahead and pull that video up, and we're going to introduce Mary Louise right after that, and we'll move through this show. Going to give you a lot to learn from. Okay?
The story of Mary Louise Zeller is one of finding confidence by becoming more internal. Her struggle began when her 18-month-old son fell from a 2-story window and was critically injured.
I was depressed. I cried a lot. I could be driving down the road and I'd start crying. The baby held me together. I had to take care of him. Well, one Sunday morning, I was reading the newspaper and I saw an ad for Taekwondo. And it said, to improve focus and concentration, of which I had none. It said to strengthen self-confidence, of which I had none. I mean, if you can't keep your own child safe, how good a mother are you? I mean, it's like my self-confidence was shattered. So, and then I was way overweight and out of shape, and it said get fit. So I said, wow, that sounds like more fun than running and weightlifting and aerobics. And so I answered the ad. And I was just going in to check it out in Master Kim in Vallejo, California. He handed me a uniform. He says, "Here, put this on." There's something about the way a master says, "Here, put this on." You go, "Oh, okay." I wasn't going to do that, but okay. And he taught me a lesson. He said, "Come back tomorrow." So I did. And I noticed that I felt more alive. And the more active I got physically, the more settled my mind got, the more settled my emotions got. The first 2 weeks, my muscles were so sore, I slept in the bathtub. Really. It was the only place I could sleep. I had to bounce down the stairs on my bottom, crawl up them. I don't know how I kept going, but it gave me a feeling of being alive again. It gave me hope. It did give me self-confidence. The ad was true. People told me I was too old. I started when I was 44. And I was too old, especially when, okay, you're gonna compete. The first time Master Kim said, "I want you to come to a competition," I thought he meant the mommy things, cheerlead, drive, make sandwiches. You know, and he says, "Oh no, you will compete. It's the same thing, give you a uniform, put it on." I go, "Oh, okay, I'll compete." And I was terrified, I couldn't even get a deep breath. And I just did it anyway. And after it was over, I was like, wow! It was like being in high school again, getting on the bus, going to the basketball game. But I lost every match I fought for 2 years. You'd think you would just get discouraged and quit. But I finally went out there, instead of holding back, trying to stay safe. This is full contact Taekwondo. We wear protective gear in the Olympic style, but it is full contact. So I was trying to be safe. Well, you can't win trying to be safe. You can be safe trying to be safe, but you can't win. So I just got out there and I was going, "I'm not losing one more time. I'm gonna win this match." That poor opponent of mine, I went after her like a banshee. She was like, "Oh my gosh, somebody dragged this grandmother off of me." You know, so, and from then on out, I saw that I had something to do with it. Somewhere along the line, I said, I want to go to the Olympics. I'm sure that God has a sense of humor now, because to give me a desire to go to the Olympics when I'm, 55 years old, that's a sense of humor. And everybody thought I was ridiculous. But you know what? I gave them a run for their money. In the South, they'll say, it's better to shoot for the moon and hit the fence than to shoot for the fence and hit the ground. So I shot for the moon. I got 4th in the 18-over division in full contact fighting, which requires speed, strength, stamina, endurance, amazing quickness. It is a sport of quickness. You really have to have a big dream to be alive. Power and passion in life, live in that domain. The power of being internal is to actually be at the source of power. When I'm making a difference, I'm happy. If I can inspire you, look, you don't have to look forward to drooling in an old folks' home when you get older. When I'm 80, I'm gonna be on the mat in some form or fashion, some mat. Like whatever your mat is, I'm gonna be on the mat, playing the game. What I would like to leave you with, the one thing, is something that your coach will tell you, leave it on the mat. When you go out, when you go out to give it all, and you gave it all, it is so rich. Leave it on the mat. So when you think you don't have anything left to give, you've got everything to give. Leave it on the mat. Leave it all. Don't leave this life without leaving it all. Just give it.
Okay, I got to just catch my breath after that, because it always brings me to tears, because I know that there's so many of us that have been there and have tried to get out of our own way. And Mary Louise has done it, and she's still doing it today. She's on the mat, leaving so much on the mat. She's vitally alive. You talk about a warrior spirit. Here she is, our warrior spirited princess, Mary Louise Zeller. Hey, girlfriend.
Hey, my hair color is different, and I'm still fighting the battles.
You are.
You know, Barbara, you talked about New You breakthrough, and we've talked the last few days about this, and you were the one who gave me the idea of a burning bowl.
Oh.
So when I look at what is the access to a new you, I think it occurs only in language, because you see, the past of who we are, everything, it's almost like we're a sum total of everything that's ever happened to us, and we make up strategies to overcome them and to recover from them or whatever like that. But in reality, the past does not exist. The only place it exists is in our speaking, whether it's internal in our mind or external coming out the mouth. And so when people tell you, be careful what you say, it's really, really accurate. So one of the things I did is I followed your advice, and I wrote down everything from my past that was hurt, disillusionment, disappointment, guilt, shame, anger, regret, resentment, auld lang syne. And I wrote them all down on little stickies. And I went out to the bird bath. I didn't have a bowl I wanted to wreck. And I went out to the stone bird bath, and I lit them on fire. And I really was being with it and getting that the past does not exist. Now, neither is there a future. But where does the future exist? It exists in our speaking. We literally first create it with our word. Well, one of the most important things about our word is we have to be a person of honor. We have to honor our word. We have to do what we say. Now, are we going to do what we say all the time? No, but you can actually apologize for not keeping your word and remake it and double your effort. But that's where I am this year. And so I started a new dream board, and I started creating my future, because the future doesn't exist, but it only exists as I speak it first into reality. Then I take action. And that has been my strength. That's what got me to champion. I have the wrong body type. I was too old when I started. I just simply got a great coach, got a great structure, and I did what my coach said, and I did it every day without stopping. I never, ever, ever quit. See, the only difference between somebody who brings their hopes and dreams into reality and those who just speak them and then do nothing, and then next year it's the same, is that you're taking effective action, and you never, ever give up.
There's so much truth to that, Mary Louise, and we all have so much in common, and I'm glad that you did the burning bowl. And when you talk about the past never equals the future, and our future is very questionable for many people. For Master Kelly and I, we took a lot into consideration within this last year, and that's one of the reasons why we use this show as a platform to give back in the community. And I love showing that story on what happened to you, how you never looked back, you just kept moving forward, and you never gave up. Just like Master Kelly, 6-time world champion. Mary Louise is a 9-time world champion and a biologist of 25 years, and she has done cancer research and diagnostic work as well. So the other things that we all have in common, we understand the mind, body, spirit. Dr. Harry, who's going to be coming on, also understands that, and he has a lot to bring to the table as well. But what you're doing is you're taking one day at a time, you're living in and of the moment, and you just don't quit. You never give up, and it doesn't matter whether it's in personal, Okay, so maybe we've had bad relationships or questionable relationships. It's not going to keep us from loving again. We get back on the saddle and we ride, and we rise above the chaos that's happening out there in 2020, and we are putting that behind us and we're moving forward with new visions. And I'm so... Master Kelly, I know you agree with me about having Mary Louise in our lives, because it's been like being at a fun park with Mary Louise.
Well, they're eclectics of the eclectics. You have over 100 years brain power here, and it's all positive. The negative is the past, which we do not evaluate to even affect our future unless we dwell on it, but then it's usually affecting our future in a bad way. Now, there is a war going out there. The enemy is sedulously clever, because no matter what you do, you can't see it. You know it's there. And what is our tools? Well, first of all, the brain secretes an enzyme, and it sends it to your lymphatic system, and it communicates with soldier cells that are in the flowing of the lymph system and the bloodstream and so on. And they order the cells to fight or not fight on germs and bacteria. So it is a battle that really is going on every day, every minute, every second. However, the way we win the battle is realize we have the power. We have the power to do anything we want to do, when we want to do it, and how we want to do it. There is no in-between there. When you are set on making a difference in this world, you are providing a service for other people to jump on the bandwagon. The bandwagon. Yeah. Jump on the bandwagon, and let's do what we were born to do, is become very successful, become very powerful. We have that power. Use the power, because the more you use it, the stronger it gets. The less you use it, the more you lose it.
You know, that's so very true. And what Mary Louise was saying about your words and how you speak, and I know you often say so many, probably in every single show, that words are power, thoughts are things. And
thoughts are things.
And we've talked about that in many of the shows, which you can go back and watch the archive shows by going to our YouTube channel. But we are going to move forward in this show, and that was such a great opening, Mary Louise, after playing that heart. I mean, it was just a tearjerker. It always is a tearjerker, but I show that for a purpose, because there's many people out there right now going through what you went through back then. What this video has done is it gives everyone hope instead of hopelessness. It gives us that lack of fear, because if one person can do it, another person can do it. And if we can help get this message out globally, we want everybody to share our shows. If you want to see something special, different, or whatever, just let us know. But we will give you the tools that we have all used, and much of it is backed by the validation of science, tried and true systems, and we're talking about professionals here with Mary Louise, Master Kelly. I'm not a martial artist like you guys as a world champion, but I do have my black belt in shopping, so I'm a world champion at that. So.
She's not kidding either.
But I think it's time to really bring on a professional that we have not ever had on the show. You're going to get to know, we call him Uncle Harry because he's just that kind of guy. He's so down to earth, he's so very cool. But I'll tell you what, he has a resume that would fit this table and then some. So we have a few words we want to say about Dr. Harry Cashette, who's been 30 to 40 years, that long, in the business of helping people personally. She's a clinical psychologist, and his big thing today is really as a business psychologist. I think we need that. So we've met Harry. We got to know Harry very quickly and very well. I think we're all just pretty good judges of characters because we live from the heart and a mind, body, and spirit that is whole and alive and can feel other people's energy and frequency. And I thought, we have to have Dr. Harry on. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Harry on and get you to get to know Harry. Hello there, Dr. Harry.
Hi, how are you?
We are doing good. What do you think of the show so far?
It's really good. I think the theme. Tell me the theme again.
Okay, it's New You Breakthrough. Now, you know all about that. Breaking through, we're cracking the code of emotional prison.
Okay, so I'm going to start a little differently.
Okay.
The new you is the real you.
Very good. See, it took a psychologist.
It's not something that you have to get. It's something you already have.
Oh, I love that.
And what we do is learn to get in touch with that. And I look back in my life, and I'm not like Master Kelly, and I'm not like Mary Louise. You did these things so publicly, so powerfully. You decided to be athletes and to be champions. And I look back in my life, and I wasn't that way. All I was persistent, quietly. I was very quietly persistent. I had to get through my challenges. I was born with dyslexia. There's something wrong with my brain.
Oh, dear.
I can't read well as a child. I was embarrassed because I was always put in the third level reading group, the worst reading group. I was told I would never go to college. I was told I was too slow, and I never gave up.
Ha ha, there it is, those words, never give up.
I never gave up. I constantly said, well, that's what they think of me. I don't know how to read that well, but I'm going to learn how to read better. So I visualized everything. Every word I read, I visualized. And through visualization, I was able to learn the word, the sound, and slowly but surely, instead of going to commercial school that they said I had to go to, I decided I was going to go to college. And all through my college career, I struggled. And I never gave up. And eventually, I learned that I was able to do things. I wasn't emotionally or psychologically what the doctors told I was. I wasn't. I was strong. I was powerful. And most of all, I was loving. I had a desire inside of me not only to improve myself, but to help others improve. That's why I became a clinical psychologist. It was out of love for others. It was out of respect that in every single human being, there is a spark of divinity. There is part of us, the real self, that is divine. And the more we persist at seeking that, the more we're able to. And then I started learning about brain science. And I started to learn that the human brain is open to change.
Aha!
It's not fixed. Just because we have a genetic inheritance, what we do, what we experience, either turns on or turns off our genes. So what we do, like Mary Louise, constantly practice. Dr. Dennis Kelly constantly practice to become a champion. And I also constantly practice to know myself, to get beyond my limitations. And those limitations could be gotten beyond by practice. And when you practice, your brain opens a pathway that supports what you want to achieve. The brain is developed that way. And so the more we continue, the less we give up, the more we get support from others, the more we show appreciation and love for ourselves and for others, the more we grow. And when I work with businesses, I see tremendous strength when I help people understand their own strength and then get beyond limitations. So truly, to become yourself is not new.
No.
It's old. It's becoming who you are. And that's what I work for, and that's what I help others to achieve with great love and respect.
And you've said such a beautiful piece there that has given me additional validation for opening the brain to new pathways, which is what my husband, you have said that many times after becoming certified through Heart Math Institute as a peak performance coach, that you can change the brain cells. And what you're saying is practice, 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 never give up, be persistent, and come from love, because love is the highest healing emotion. Right there,
Highest
Master Kelly?
vibration in the universe.
Exactly.
It vibrates at 7.9 hertz, which is the theta level, and that is the level that the universe guides us through.
Exactly. And of
So
course,
love, as you were saying, Barbara, and Dennis is saying, is the highest vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And as you enter that and you live it, you become part of the divine universe.
and we feel very strongly about that, Dr. Harry. We're so blessed to be able to use our show to be able to deliver the content where people can pull what they feel they need. And it's really interesting because we always talk about the word perception. We don't want anybody to become a new you, but what you said hit the nail on the head. Become you. And so many times we go through life under the misperception of ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
Growing up in childhood, being told you were stupid or not getting support from family members being raised. We both kind of had a similar background that way, but we just never gave up, and that's what we're doing here today. We are never giving up. And so what I'd like to do is open up and give the websites for the two of you, Mary Louise, which is MaryLouiseZeller.com, and you can see more about Mary Louise and find out what she is all about, because she is such an interesting, loving individual. She fits perfectly as a guest on our show. She's above and beyond a guest. She delivers so much wonderful information. And then we also have Harry's website, which is Human Interaction Solutions. And you can look up Dr. Harry, get a hold of him there if you would like to find out more information, and see what Dr. Harry has to offer, especially for business owners today. I mean, we are in the most challenging times ever, but it doesn't mean that we're going to give up. Never, ever, ever. We will find the solutions in a different way. So let's go ahead and bring on our two guests, and we're going to just have a little open forum and talk about this whole love thing. We've all been there, done it. We know that love changes anything and everything. It's getting there and coming from there no matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter how we feel. If we can always raise our vibrations to that emotion. And how do we do that, Master Kelly?
Well, first of all, you can't solve a problem with the frequency of the problem. You have to get into a higher frequency. And that's so really important. Realize we have no limitation on that. The big reason that people give up their power, and it's so sad, is they don't know. They don't believe they have the power. It's there, and you can call it whatever you want, but it's the combination of energy in our mind, in our soul, being able to correct things that are far beyond our comprehension. So that's basically my short story.
Yes, it is your short story, and we have many long stories to that. But when you understand, like with Mary Louise being a biologist and understanding how the brain, the mind, the body, spirit works, Dr. Harry and you as well being a clinical psychologist and understanding how the brain works, I wonder what the percentage is of people who really get that. I have learned so much in the last 23 years being with my husband and delivering what he learned to become a world martial arts champion, because he went into that to prove something to yourself and to show that anyone can be a champion, whether it's a champion in the ring or a champion in business or a champion in life.
Well, it's what's so strange about my story, which is similar to others, is that when I was in high school, I was the worst athlete in the history of Grafton High School. I played 3 years of football, never made a basket. I mean, never made a goal. I spent time playing basketball, never made a basket. I mean, it was that bad. And when I grew up, my whole desire was to prove my coach wrong and my stepfather wrong and tell the world that I'm right and I'm not wrong, and give that meaning how I created that. For example, I went into the martial arts in my middle, when I was 35 years of age, so I was a late starter. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but I was determined to do it. And the biggest tournament in the world at that time, 1976, it was like it was tomorrow or yesterday. The biggest crowd in martial arts back in 1976, 77, 78 is the tournament in Madison Square Garden with all the people there that are ushering and doing that did it when Muhammad Ali fought there. So here I am winning a first place in the largest tournament in the world, and I stood in that boxing ring. I'll never forget how I felt. I said, oh my God, can I do this again? And guess what? 1978, I did it again. 1979, I did it again at that tournament. The reason that I was able to do this was the fact that I believed in myself. And if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. So anyway, I am really privileged to feel that I am able to share this with not only the people outside, but this wonderful group on the inside, and I can learn a lot from them.
You know, that is so very true, and I love it when, you know, Dr. Harry's talking about the brain, and of course, Mary Louise, as you know, has been on many of our shows and has delivered such wonderful information on building our immune system and believing in yourself and that you can do this. And we are all successful, but we still have our challenges. Whoever knew we were going to have the last 10 months that we have had? I mean, this is crazy stuff. But we can work around it. We just find different ways to find the solutions. Thank goodness we have We Being TV here for us. I know so many are, you know, they get tired of Zoom. I'm not tired of Zoom. I love Zoom. It is a way for us to get the messages out globally. We are worldwide on this show. And if you enjoy what you're listening to, please share it. There's somebody out there waiting to hear what we all have to say. I know, Mary Louise, I know you're just waiting to pitch in here and add a few points, and then I want to also mention something about Dr. Harry that hit my heart as well. So what do you think?
Well, thanks. Yeah, I am. You know, it really meant something to me when Dr. Harry said, the new you is like getting to the real you, and that letting go of the past, burning the past, and really being who you are and generating into the future. And what you said, Barbara, you got to have heart. You know, the heart of a champion, the heart to keep going no matter what, the heart to recreate when your creation gets dashed in the dirt. And, you know, during this pandemic, a lot of people have lost relationships, you know, through people getting sick and dying. So we've had loss there. I've lost 3 close friends to COVID, and that's very jarring. And one was somebody I spent time with every month, you know, social time. Mm-hmm. I also, you know, lost a love relationship. And sometimes when we get hurt, disillusioned, disappointed by somebody, we turn it on ourselves, like it means we're not enough, or we accomplish things, we try to earn love, we try to be enough, like that. And what I've learned through these really painful processes, that all of us are enough. And that if somebody makes a mistake, rejects you, hurts you, is mean to you, it really is their issue. Mm-hmm. It's their error. And it doesn't mean I'm not enough. So one of the things I got in this pandemic is my own self-worth. And it was really a real experience of that. Not just the words of it, but it's like, I am just freaking okay.
That's
You
right.
know, and I just do life and love life, and I'm going to just, you know, you get your heart hurt, you want to close it down. It's like, oh, wow, I never want to risk that again. That was awful. No, just like a champion gets knocked down on the mat, we just get right back up and we just train harder.
Yep.
And that's life.
That's
and
right.
We give it all. I mean, just like I said, you leave it all on the mat. If you don't give it all on this mat, in this, you know, leave it all on the mat in this lifetime, you know, the worst thing I would think would be to get to the end of your life and have that regret.
Yes.
Is that you were careful.
Yes.
That you
Absolutely.
protected yourself and made sure you never got hurt again. Well, if you're doing that, you're certainly never going to win again either.
That's right. And
Amen.
You got to risk it all.
yeah, you do. Just go for it. Go for it. And like you say, leave it on the mat and give even when you think that you don't have anything else to give. That video is so strong.
You're worth it.
That's right. It is so very true, because we do have more to give than we might think we do. And
Yeah,
that's
we're
why,
so precious to each other.
I
It's
know.
like I just learned so much from Dr. Harry, and he's become such a good friend and enriched my life,
Yes.
and you and Grandmaster. It's like I'm so blessed.
we are too.
And that's what the pandemic has done for
Yes.
us, is brought us together. We need each other to grow.
Yes, we do. As was it the singer that sang "People Need People"? People do need people, and that's what this show is all about. And I thank you for that. That was just so well expressed and from your heart. And that's what we do here on the show. I wanted to mention something about Dr. Harry, that he sent me his. I would love to just tell you all about Dr. Harry, and we will in time, but we're so short with the show here with less than 20 minutes remaining. But something that I want to read to you, because I don't have it memorized yet, I will borrow this, Dr. Harry. A human being has a mind and a body that are inseparable. Live effectively, free from disease and mental and emotional distress. We can learn to balance our mind, body, and emotions. Change is natural and part of accepting what is needed for joyful living. Everyone, do you hear what I'm saying? Everyone has the power to change. We were all born into greatness and a divine purpose for each and every one of us. And if we will just take the time to center, quiet, live in and of the moment. And I know that there are many of us that have gone a little bit deeper just when we thought we had this all well-rounded. We do our prayer, we do our devotionals, we do our meditation, but even we were able to take ourselves even deeper during this pandemic. So there's always room for change for anyone and everyone. And you know, I've often said so many times as I've interviewed many business owners and really getting to know them, and they would share things with me as the interviewer that I really didn't share out on the air, but I needed this information so I knew actually how to present each of these business owners and knowing what they had gone through. And believe me, even business owners need that extra step of personal growth and development. They may be almost there, but they're missing something. They're stuck. Some life coaches out there that are certainly putting, their time and effort into helping others. But what do you do when people are stuck? Their businesses are gone, maybe gone forever, maybe only temporarily, and there's no money to pay out. So we're using this platform here to help give and deliver some helpful of you can actually start right after this show. Living from the Heart, Master Kelly and I are involved with Heart Math Institute. We're both certified and licensed to help children and adults by learning the validation of what happens with the mind, body, and spirit, and how we do have a heart in the brain, a heart in the heart, and a heart in the gut.
That's right.
I love that. And so many of you that have watched our shows, you learn about all that, and with the validation, biologically, backed by science, right? Backed by medical documentation. So we bring you the background, the research. We research the researchers. The two guests that we have on here today have so much value, and if you will tune into our shows, reach out to them for even more information to help you take yourself to the next level. I know it will work for you. In fact, before we end our show, I want to let you know that if you will private message me, I will give you a Zoom link for every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. We are going to be doing a new you, but as Dr. Harry says so eloquently, it's really the real you. How many people would love to know who they really are inside? I had to go there. It wasn't fun. Believe me, I had to leave a lot on the mat. And I had to find out who I really am. And that is why both my husband and I were able to push through this pandemic with almost flying colors. And we're there where we need to be. And because we've mastered these skill sets, living from the heart, coming with more love, because it's the highest frequency. You can make better decisions, correct?
Absolutely correct.
Yes. So think about that while you're watching the show and take that with you. More than anything else, never give up. We're all saying that. And look into how a balanced mind, body, and spirit can look for the real you in you. So I know we only have 15 minutes. We could be here all day and all night. We could have a pajama party here on Prime Time.
Barbara, I'd like to say a few things. Is it
I was just, absolutely.
I was just going to ask them to come on.
I want everybody to just
I
tell
want to hear more from
tell
you.
us what you've learned in this last year.
Okay.
Give your
Now,
best shot.
There's some things, folks, that you have to also hear. Yeah, I want you to remind yourselves that Master Kelly, Barbara, Mary Louise, and I went through a lot of pain. There is nothing in this world, no one, that you can be born a human being without challenges, without pain involved. So when you hear us talk about success, the success came out of knowing how to handle pain, how to handle disappointment, how to handle emotional difficulty. And the thing that I always tell all the people that I work with is if you are in pain, do something to make you feel better. Sometimes when you're in pain, you don't want to do anything. You just want to go to bed or hide or not talk to anybody. But the secret is doing something that makes you feel better. And here's the secret within the secret. If you do something to feel better, it means that part of you respects yourself. You deserve to feel better. So when I was in great pain, I was going through a divorce at one point, and I really didn't want to do anything. I was feeling terrible. I lived next to a wonderful ice cream parlor which made their own ice cream. So when I felt the worst, I would go down to the ice cream parlor and I would get a chocolate ice cream. And I would relish it. And even though I was feeling bad, it's hard to feel bad and eat chocolate ice cream.
I love it.
So what it showed is a universal knowledge. Even though we suffer, I work with business people, and they are suffering terribly.
I know.
I start doing things to loosen them up, let them see that suffering is temporary. We'll get through it. You'll take care of yourself. You'll take care of your clients. You'll get more money. You have to believe in that. And as you begin to feel good about yourself, you start feeling good about what you're doing, about people in your lives, about your clients, about your customers.
Yes.
So it comes down to a simple thing. Be good and do good.
I love that. Be good, do good. I love that.
Amen.
I like that. I'm writing that down.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you so much for that. Mary Louise, give us your best shot here.
Well, I had, a friend just tell me, when these negative conversations come up, to just get involved in doing something, creating something. I practice music, and that has really, really, really nurtured me. But the other thing is I'm not going to permit myself to indulge in negative conversations or even regrets and resentments and anger and all that kind of stuff. I will then do something in its place and just replace it. And I was told one time by a really good friend who was a great coach, and he said, whatever you can just let be, that suffering is tied to not accepting what is. You just want it all to be different.
Sure.
Now, it doesn't mean just roll over and give up, but it means some things in life, you know, if death occurs, you have to accept it and be with it. Whatever you can be with will let you be.
Absolutely.
And then you just get out there and give your best, you know, leave it on the mat.
Yeah.
Just keep creating good things, you know, be good, have integrity, keep your word, and do good.
Yeah, it's not.
I love it. I've learned a lot from this session. I'm going to record it and listen to it again.
Well, that's why we're here. And, you know, we all still have ways to learn on a daily basis. Life is a learning lesson. It's still training. We're still all babes learning. My husband and I are still learning. You know, we're no different, though, than plumbers with leaky pipes. I mean, we have our moments, don't we?
Absolutely.
And we've gone through that pain, the emotional prison, I call it, where so many people will feel helpless and hopeless. And I, too, and Master Kelly, too, Mary Louise, we don't want to indulge in negative conversation either. And that's why we love doing this show, is to bring forth a positive. Even though my husband has said from time to time that a positive thinking has put more people in the, you know, in the funny farm, positive thinking.
Yeah, because they try these things and they don't work out. Mm-hmm. And 90% of the cases, the person will say, I did all these things and I still don't feel good.
Yeah,
they didn't realize that stuff comes from the inside, not the outside.
Do you think it's because they didn't change their frequency, their vibration?
That's exactly what happened. They didn't know about that, and that's what we're here for, to teach them how to do that.
Exactly. And I have to say, with all the different points that we've brought out here today, I'm sure that our viewers will pick up something that they can take away with and maybe share with someone else, maybe lean a little bit forward to your screen and what we are saying. I mean, we've all gone to school. We all have the science behind what we're talking about, the research and all of that. And that's why it's such a blessing to have people to hang out with that know what they're talking about, and for you to know that it hasn't always been a bed of roses for any single one of us. And that is the truth. And we're all, well, we like to think that we are young spring chickens, but we all have a few years on our lives. And if we're still able to survive, still have the zest for life, to still feel vitally alive and well and want to keep moving forward, you can too. So go ahead.
Barbara,
Go ahead, Harry.
I want to comment on Mary Louise's statement about acceptance.
Go for it.
It's really very, very important, because things happen to us. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If we say, oh, why me? I can't stand this. Bad things happen to me all the time, or I'm not feeling good all the time. The secret is what Mary Louise said. Accept things. This is the way it is. Mm-hmm. And then decide if you want to do what you want to do about it. Mm-hmm. So Mary Louise was saying, when she feels upset about something, she doesn't dwell on it. She's accepting, okay, I'm not feeling well. And then she does something to feel better. She plays her music.
Yep.
So the secret of getting through the pandemic is accepting that we are going through this, we are limited, we can't do everything, and okay, that's the way it is. Now, what are we going to do about it? How are we going to feel better? What are we going to do? So acceptance is not about fighting against what is, it's accepting it and then making your life better. And that's what every single one on this show has done many times in order to be where we are right now.
You know, that is...
Thank you. Mary Louise.
Thank you, Mary Louise, and thank you, Dr. Harry. There is so much truth to that. And that is, it's interesting because I feel that we've all been working towards pushing through this pandemic with the skill sets that we've all had to learn the good parts from the past. I have no challenge pulling the good parts that we've learned because my husband and I, with the skill sets that we've learned, back since 1996, when you became certified with HeartMath Institute and learned the power of the intelligence of the heart, is what allowed us to master our life. And I have an acronym for life: love, inspire, forgive, and enlighten. And we all had to learn that over time. And little did we realize that all the things that we've had to learn on a daily basis, how to make choices from the heart. Because when you make those from a loving environment within your being, you're making it in a higher frequency level. And you will never make the wrong choices. If you're living from the head making decisions, that's where the craziness comes in. But once you start living a heart-empowered lifestyle, it comes natural. From morning to night, from night till morning, it doesn't matter what's happening in the world out there. You go to your heart and you're persistent, right, Mary Louise? And you stay persistent and you never give up. Right, everybody? It's a
Right.
Absolutely.
Barbara, there's something else I wanted to put in there that I realized that it's something that comes natural. To me, always since I was a little girl, I just wanted to play hard. I wanted to play at everything. I was up first in the morning, last to go to bed at night. I just want to live and play and like that. And it's called engagement.
Yes.
That you are totally engaged in life.
Yes.
You're putting yourself out there with all the ups, the downs, the risk. Some people think they're going to control the risk that life is. Now, I'm not saying be irresponsible or anything like that, but I am saying that whatever the limitations are, we can still be fully engaged in life, in the opportunities of life. If one door gets closed, we're going to open the window and like that. But a lot of people are withholding themselves, trying to, control all those circumstances and no demands, no challenges.
Yes.
I think that is not the domain of being fully alive. And that's the cost, huge cost.
Yes.
Of playing it safe and not involving yourself in learning and growing and getting out there and having these experiences, good and bad.
Oh yeah, exactly. And when it comes to relationships, we've all learned or we have not learned. And if we haven't learned, then we repeat the same performance and the results are the same. So once we raise that awareness for ourselves and really teach ourselves as a learning lesson and find that real you inside, again, I say we're all born into greatness. We all have that power to champion the champion within. Like the martial arts way, living the martial way. I mean, you just don't ever give up, but you don't have to be a martial artist to champion the champion within, because my husband always says on the back of his book here, everyone was born a champion. That is so, so very true. And I tell you, this show has been enlightening. I knew it was going to be good, but I picked up even more, haven't you?
Absolutely. I knew it was going to be good, like you said, but it's better than
There's one
good.
thing I want to bring back to what Barbara was saying, coming from the heart. It is possible in our lives, in what we are doing, to experience divine love. As we go through life and as we start doing some spiritual practices, meditation and prayer, it opens your heart and you literally can experience divine love.
Yes.
And that divine love is who we are. That is the true you.
Yes.
So as their heart opens and as you concentrate on love, you can truly go through life with love in everything you do.
Thank you.
And that's real life.
That is real life. That is, because then that's when we make the very best decisions, when we have that frequency on a regular basis, and you don't have to pay for it. It just takes a split second to actually do the exercise and go to the heart and feel that love. We can send that love right through the screen here, through television screen, through the universe, even to those that are gone from the planet. And I'll tell you, that's how we live our lives. Are we perfect? Perfection is only a direction, but we live this way, and that's why we have this show, and we're very blessed to have it. So onward and upward, everyone. We have less than a minute remaining. I know we're going to have Mary Louise and Dr. Harry back again, and of course, my cohort here, who will be back every Monday, pretty much, and with more to share with you. Now remember, if you want to private message me, we'll let you know at 4 o'clock Eastern Time every Wednesday. We will be on a webinar, and it will be an open mic so that we can help give back there on a weekly basis. We'll do more here on prime time as well. And feel free to make your comments if you have any requests. We love to hear from you. And until we meet again, which will, God willing, be next Wednesday, same time, same place. Have a blessed week and a very blessed life. And know that hope is here, and it's here to stay. 2021, here we come. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you, Mary Louise. Thank you, Dr. Harry. And thank you, my love.
My pleasure.
All right. We'll see
Bye
you
now.
again soon. You guys take care. Have a great evening, and we'll see you at 4 o'clock our time, Mary Louise. God bless. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.
Amen.
Bye.